game developers really know how to get creative with their pranks. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 April Fool's gaming pranks. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at some of the best in April Fool's pranks involving video games, even if some of these left us more frustrated than anything else.
Yeah, baby. They're pretty easy to operate. Just hold Y to charge that laser.
Number 10, PlayStation Flow, Sony.
Here at the Wearables division, we're working on ways of bringing the PlayStation experience to all areas of your life.
Have you ever entered a swimming section of a game and thought to yourself, hey, what if I could control my character by actually swimming in a real pool? No? Well, Sony decided to riff on this insane idea and went about making a pretty intricate fake promo video for the PlayStation Flow, complete with a relatively believably designed pair of goggles and body sensors that sync up with your PS4 so that you can control your character from the comfort of a pool. It's ridiculous, it's very self-aware, and really well put together considering how bonkers the idea is. Number 9, Fez 2 is coming back, Phil Fish. Fez was universally praised for its unique mechanics, adorable art style, and addictive gameplay. So, when a prequel was announced, we were quick to board the hype train. But everything changed after the game's notorious creator, Phil Fish, had a nasty feud with a critic, which was the catalyst for his abandonment of the project. We still await the day that Fish comes back to the gaming industry to finish Fez 2, and we almost thought that day had come. On April 1st, 2014, Fish tweeted that Fez 2 was back in development. But it didn't take long for most people to realize that this was a joke. You know, some of us are still waiting for an actual sequel, so not cool, dude, not cool. Number 8, Tactics Alexander, Square Enix. It's been a very long time since we last saw a Final Fantasy Tactics game. Grimoire of the Rift came out way back in 2008, so a new game is very overdue. Well, our wishes were about to come true when Square Enix announced Tactics Alexander. The music was kick-ass, and the graphics were an interesting mix between fantasy and steampunk. Of course, our hopes were dashed when this all turned out to be a big old fake. Come on, Square, it's been over a decade since the last Tactics game. You couldn't have gone with a different gag, one that didn't hurt our feelings? Anyway, just take a look at the forums and you'll see that some fans did not take this prank lightly. Number 7, Sonic in Smash Bros. Melee, Electronic Gaming Monthly. With every Smash Bros. Game, fans are desperate to know which characters are going to make the roster. Imagine our surprise back in 2002 when we got word that Sonic the Hedgehog, along with Tails, were secret characters in Melee. The mascot of Nintendo's old rival in a Smash Bros. Game? Impossible! After spending a few hours trying to beat 20 enemies in cruel Melee, players quickly learned that Electronic Gaming Monthly was trolling them the entire time. I mean, at least this did become a reality when Brawl was released in 2008. Number 6, Roach Was Too Good, CD Projekt Red.
A year before we were due to release, our in-house horse testers started complaining.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was basically a perfect game. From its wide-open landscapes, dozens of interesting quests, and compelling narrative, many people still haven't stopped playing it. Although if we had to pick nits, Geralt's horse Roach does tend to bug out on occasion. CD Projekt Red decided to play along with this issue and produced a whole video on the making of Roach. It's hilarious to think that the devs would intentionally make Roach buggy. The absurdity really cranked up to 11 when they announced a real horse was going to be voicing Roach for the Blood and Wine expansion, complete with an interactive dialogue tree. Seriously though, this is kind of a good idea though. Maybe another expansion's in the works? Number 5, Ark Survival Devolved, Studio Wildcard. If you're an avid fan of dinosaurs, dodos, and being killed by other players who are way stronger than you, chances are you've been playing Ark Survival Evolved, a survival game where you explore an unknown world filled with prehistoric creatures. It's not a game for everyone definitely, but there's a healthy following. While many players are still trying to get their own dinosaur to ride on though, Studio Wildcard decided to pull the old switcheroo. A patch was released where players could become a dinosaur and then ride humans. The visuals alone were hilarious, and if Studio Wildcard were to include this thing as part of the game, I don't think anyone would be upset, but anyway. Number 4. TerraTron, Blizzard Entertainment.
It's morphin' time.
Ever heard of the Voltron-inspired mecha unit known as the TerraTron? Basically, the Terrans get themselves a Megazord built entirely out of their own base. As expected, this little trailer turned out to be a fake announcement, with a small asterisk next to it. While you might not be able to use the TerraTron, you can fight it in the epic final boss battle of Lost Viking. We must warn you though, the fight will be incredibly difficult. Hope your friend's got some mad skills. Number 3. World of Warcraft, playable two-headed ogre race, Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard just can't help trolling their own community, eh? The playable two-headed ogre was going to be a complex race, but it kinda sounded fun. You and a buddy would control one half of your character, which would be named with a mishmash of your name and your friend's name. On top of that, both players would share their own personal chat box to share thoughts. Again, this kinda sounds fun, but after thinking about it for like 3 seconds, players quickly realized that this would be a programming nightmare and a very complicated playstyle. But Blizzard wasn't completely fooling. They eventually added a two-headed ogre to Heroes of the Storm.
Cho'Gall is a terrifying force on the battlefield, someone who can start and end a fight all on his own. But only if both heads work together. 2 players, 2 heads, sharing one body.
Number 2, The Legend of Zelda movie trailer, IGN.
I've got something special lined up today. I'm taking the harvest to Castletown Market. And you're coming with me.
If there's anything we've learned about IGN, it's never trust anything they announce on April 1st. Seriously, after seeing the Mass Effect cartoon and the Bollywood Halo movie trailers, you'd think everyone would have learned their lesson by now. However, probably the most convincing trailer by far was the alleged trailer for The Legend of Zelda. With pretty good visual effects, costuming, and overall production quality, this looked pretty real. Although it also looked really crappy, so we're not too upset.
Find me again.
Before we reveal our top gaming prank, here are a few honorable mentions.
Transferring control to Prime.
Number 1, Pokémon Challenge, Google.
We seek to hire the most exceptional people.
Remember that big announcement from Google a few years ago? It was something along the lines of go on Google Maps and you can hunt and catch Pokémon as you travel? Oh yeah, and to sweeten the deal, the best trainer would be hired at Google Maps as the Pokémon Master. Sounds like a dream job, right? Well, it is a dream job because it doesn't exist. As explained by the disclaimer at the end of the video, which diminishes any chance of this being real thanks to its silly tone. Despite the Pokémon Challenge being fake, Pokémon Go became a real thing 2 years later when Nintendo's Satoru Iwata realized that the gag had potential to be a real game. And we all know what happened from there. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.